how do you go from 0 to over 15 million leads collected? Well, obviously there's a story there, and for that reason I'm here at Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia, because essentially this is where it all started. So back in 2010, my whole business was 100% dependent on Google AdWords. So basically all the traffic that I got came from Google AdWords, which is obviously a high risk. So at some point, I got an email from Google saying, hey, your account is actually shut down. You don't have any more traffic. So I needed to figure something out. And in order to do that, I figured, you know what, I'm going to give myself a 6-month period to figure this all out. I'm going to fly all the way over to Sydney in Australia, where I currently am, to sort of revisit that story. And what happened was that for almost 6 months, none of it actually worked, right? I tried all kinds of things. I struggled a lot, as a lot of the entrepreneurs will actually recognize, right? It's not always that you have an idea and right away it's going to work. So as sort of a side project, I decided to build my very first email list. I never built an email list before, never did anything like that. And what I did is I hired someone on Upwork to create a simple WordPress plugin. And it was actually for my own use, but after a while I realized that other people may want to have it as well. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to create a simple opt-in page where people could enter their name and email address, and if they opt in, then right after I'm going to put, first of all, I'm going to give them the plugin, and I'm going to have a simple share to get plugin. And what that means is that people can actually share that on their Facebook timeline, and if they do that, then they would get something extra for free, which in this case was a PDF resource. And I was obviously expecting it to completely take off, which unfortunately did not happen. It got me a couple hundred shares, and it definitely got my interest, but it didn't explode as I initially had hoped, right? But over time, over the next couple of weeks, I got a couple of thousand email subscribers, which was, for me, was insane. I never had an email subscriber before, so having I think it was around 3,000 was really, really awesome. And at some point, I decided, you know what, because an email subscriber in itself is worthless, right? You cannot go to the bank and just say hey, I got X amount of email subscribers. So I figured I'm going to do an extra experiment, and that is to see if those leads would be willing to buy something from me, right? So I created a pro version of that same plugin. Once again, I've never even created a product before, never sold my own product before, but I figured to give it a go, right? So I hired someone to work again, same guy, build it out. And then on the last Friday that I had an office here in Sydney, because in Sydney I hired a temporary office, on the last Friday, in the evening we had a party planned with friends to say goodbye after half a year, and I was going back to the Netherlands. I'd probably never see them ever again. So we had that party planned. But at the last Friday, that plugin had to go live, right? So I was working hard, and at the end of the day, I sent out an email saying, hey, if you want, you can buy it. I had no clue how to sell or anything like that. But basically told everyone hey, from everyone who subscribed to the free plugin, hey, if you want to have the pro plugin as well, you can actually buy it, right? So I sent out the email, and I pressed send, and I then cleaned up my desk, put everything in the kitchen and all of that, just to rush out to go to that party. And in those couple of minutes, I already saw various purchases, and I was like, wow, it was bing, bing. I was like, what's going on here? I've never seen anything like it. So immediately called my wife, back then girlfriend, to tell her about it, because for 6 months I've been struggling. For 6 months I've been trying every single day. I went to work every single day. I tried to make it work, and it didn't work. And all of a sudden, it worked. And that evening I made around $10,000, which in grand scheme of things isn't a lot, but for me back then it was, right? And it all started because I had something that people wanted, and I let them share for it. And if they shared it, then obviously more people came to it and they opted in as well, right? And that's really what intrigued me of this whole viral concept. But there are also some issues, there's some mistakes that I couldn't figure out initially. For example, when I asked people to share something online, when I asked people hey, if you share this on your Facebook page, you will get X, Y, or Z. What happened was that some people, they shared it, but right after they would delete the message, right? Or they would share it on a fake account. Or even if they would genuinely share it, they would just share the standard message, which would be in English. And for example, if I would share an English message with all of my friends, they would know it's not actually from me, right? It's actually just a commercial kind of message, right? So I was like, how do I figure, I knew I was onto something, but I couldn't quite get it, So that's when I saw Dropbox, and what Dropbox did was genius. I mean, you probably have heard about Dropbox as well. And what Dropbox did is they gave all of their subscribers their own unique invite link, right? And only if someone would actually subscribe through your invite link, you will get access to X, Y, or Z. And that's actually what made sure that Dropbox grew with over 3,900% in just 15 months or so. Like, it's insane. They grew insanely hard, all because of that. And I figured, hey, that's the key, right? You need to have that unique invite link in order to really go viral, because that way people share the same goal as you have. It's not about sharing, but now it's about making sure their friends actually sign up to your email newsletter. So that's what I did. I started a new experiment, and this time I had an offer that people could basically, they opted in, and then I said like, hey, I got this cool thing that you can get for free if you get 5 of your friends to subscribe as well. And what happened next was awesome, because they didn't just share it anywhere they could, right? On Facebook, on Twitter, on forums, on blogs, and etc. But they also kept sharing it multiple times until they actually got to the point that they had 5 people who actually signed up. And they actually shared it in a way that they tried to persuade their friends, right? It wasn't like the standard message, but they wrote it in a way that they knew that their friends would actually respond to that. And in the first 30 days of running that experiment, I collected well over 17,000 email subscribers in a very competitive market. And that's when I knew I was really onto something. And at that point, I decided, this should be easy for everyone. Because right up until that point, I just, I hacked something together. It wasn't really a good solution for that. Only the companies with deep pockets like Uber, Dropbox, and Airbnb, and all those kind of companies, obviously they can do it. But I wanted to make sure that everyone can, and also in a really simple way. So that's when I started with UpViral. I hired a team, I started building, and initially it was just an idea, right? It was just a concept of I knew this is something that could change the world and could really, have a major impact on your business by going viral. But we were trying to figure out what's the best way to do it, how to make it easy to use. And over time, we got some beta customers, and we got a lot of feedback. We saw some awesome case studies as well. Like, some people are using it just to consistently get approximately 10,000 leads a month, while others just blew it up. Like, for example, we had people getting over hundreds and even hundreds of thousands of email subscribers in just a matter of days, which is insane. And that's what's possible with this concept, right? So over time, while it was initially was just an idea that I had, and it all started once again here in Sydney in this small little office that I hired, and we started building up a team. We now have a team worldwide, all over the world, who are working on the mission of UpViral to make sure we can help businesses grow their email list, build their reach, because that's essentially what it is, and make sure they get more customers by using their own audience, right? By making sure that their audience is going to share it with the world, and then in turn their friends are going to share it as well, and then it just keeps on going. And that's really what we're doing at UpViral. And while I'm recording this video, we've already collected well over 15 million email subscribers for our customers, which is just mind-blowing, I think. And I'm really just thankful and grateful for all of our customers who supported us, and the team who supported my idea, because once again, it's one simple idea. And right now here I am back in Sydney, flew back to catch up on old memories, and celebrating the fact that right now it's not just an idea anymore, but it's real and it's easy to use, and I think it's awesome. So there you have it. That's the story of UpViral, how we went from 0 to over 15 million leads. And if you want to be part of it, if you want to get more leads into your business as well, then I highly recommend you to join us at upviral.com. See you all soon.